recording now, so anything you say will be held against you in court.
Ah, of course, of course.
Also voiced by Greg Heffley. Well, not in this English dub, but well, it's not even English dub; it's Japanese dub.
I was gonna say Zachary Gordon sounds a little different.
That's a little non-Zachary Gordon. I was getting really tired of listening to Paimon in English dub, so I just swapped her to Japanese.
Wait, you switched the entire dub of Genshin Impact because you couldn't stand Paimon?
Oh, yeah. Her
That's it.
Japanese voice is way more easier to listen to. Okay.
No, I mean like that's it.
Yeah.
You're goated.
I can just switch it back whenever I want to. I forgot. I need to get on ZZZ. We should be paying attention to the cutscene.
We should be paying attention to the cutscene. Oh. Dude, I need Jujuan.
She's so fun. I swear to God. Honestly, I don't regret pulling her.
Yeah, well, no, of course you wouldn't regret pulling her. You know who I regret pulling? Coletta Bellabog.
The karma came back to you, dude.
The karma came back to haunt me like JoJo Siwa.
Oh my God. Come on, who's it gonna be?
Oh my God.
Don't be Coletta. Don't be Coletta. Don't be Coletta.
Oh, be Coletta, be Coletta, be Coletta.
Don't be Oh, okay. I mean, okay.
I love Geese Howard.
Geese Howard?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Here, take a screenshot of this too, please. I need this.
I'm on it, boys.
Thank you. This guy ate poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate it.
Is he stupid? Why'd he do that?
Well, this is gonna be a very interesting video because I'm gonna have to edit like over all of our talking.
Oh God.
Oh, Emilie! Here she is.
And question. That doesn't seem like Emilie. That seems like question mark, question mark, question mark.
You're so funny, Frog.
Speaking of Paimon.
Oh, ma'am.
Oh.
Ma'am. Oh, she is so waifu material. I don't mean to be cringe, but hello? It must have been the incense. Thank you.
Think nothing of it.
I don't like your voice for Emilie.
I think my voice for Emilie is perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can we see her face already? Yay!
私はフォンテーヌから来た調香師でエミリエと申します。旅人さんですよね。お二人の名前は
I gotta figure out who her voice actor is. It's very pretty.
お会いできて光栄です。
それにしてもさっきは何が起きてたんだ？
花粉アレルギーというものを聞いたことは人それぞれ体質が異なるようにアレルギーを引き起こす原因も異なります。花粉の中には単独では影響が少なくとも他の花粉と一緒に吸い込むと刺激が強くなるものがあるのです。
Man, she's talking about my allergies right now.
薬の症状
旅人パイモン
旅人
ここにいたんだね。さっきは慌ててたから花粉に気をつけるように言いそびれてしまったよ。エミリエ奇遇だね。君が一緒にいると知ってたら心配することもなかったんだけど。
私も先ほどオルモス港へ着いたばかりなんです。偶然旅人さんとパイモンさんに出会って少しばかり手助けしただけに過ぎません。ところでアレルギーの要因は千差万別と言います。このお二人が発症するかもしれないと思ったのはなぜです？今までに同じようなことが。
Oh yeah, when we got high and we saw Aranara or something like that.
Get high, see Aranara.
Yep, there we go.
何でも食べられるオイラって恵まれてたんだな。
Paimon only cares about eating. She's like, man, I'll die eating. It's like lactose intolerant people. It's like, oh, you can't have cheese or milk. It's too bad.
かつてフォンテーヌで一世を風靡した
In
花である
Augste.
そして
アウグストゥス
Me too.
言いにくい
Me
名
too.
前だな。
香水ブームをご存知ですか？
Perfume Mania? Is that like that one scene from that one SpongeBob episode?
Curfew Mania.
No, Perfume Mania, the one where they're running through the mall.
Oh yeah, the one where they're running through the perfume department.
20年近く前
That
フォンテー
time.
ヌで香水ブームが起きたんです。ラグジュアリー、エレガントといったキャッチコピーをつけ、市場で異常な人気を博し、価格がうなぎ登りに上がったのです。それを振りかけて、自身の社会的地位を上げようとする人や、価格が急騰している間に買い占めて、利益を得ようという人も大勢いました。人々が盲目的に評価するうちに、ごく平凡な香水の価格が数十万モラという
So it's a
Thousands of Mora.
like I think people were buying perfume and then reselling it, or no, I think they overbought. Is this just a lesson on economics? Stonks.
I think it might be a lesson on
Just
it.
stonks.
Stonks.
ブームがより広がり、取り返しがつかなくなる前に、
Wonderful.
パレメルモニアはリスクを察知し、
There should be a
すぐさま
Nuvolette
介入しました。
cameo in this. Give me a
その
Nuvolette
結果、
cameo,
同期の
please.
詐欺を狙った集団が摘発。
ブームはアウズなんちゃらトゥースとどういう関係があるんだ？
ブームにおいて最も注目を浴びたのがアウグストゥスだった
10
のです。
million Mora a bottle.
一
Dory
瓶
would
数
love
千
some
万モ
of
ラ
that.
の価格がつり上がり、神聖、
Oh.
唯一無二。
I love this dub.
聞こえますが、いて、中にはそれと私の作品を
So she's the one who invented it.
No, she's researching it because it was the thing that caused that perfume mania event to happen and where inflation increased in the perfume making district. And then the flower that was specifically made for perfume, the Auguste, apparently went quote unquote extinct. In other words, all the cultivated flowers were destroyed in a fire. And then apparently, she's here to research that there have been rumors of the Auguste coming back in Sumeru. So that's why she's here.
この木にアウグステスの神話を打ち砕けば、たとえ噂が本当ではなかったと証明するだけに終わった。
Ah, so she's like a
フォンテ
detective.
ーヌ
エドガーさんも結論を下すには時期尚早と考えてる。とはいえ、一度彼と話をしてみたらどうかな。
そうですね。ちょうど私もホテルへ行って、
エドがそいつって。
パイモンが当てられなかった博覧会を取り仕切る植物専門家だよ。
The flower
この
expert.
辺りじゃ
The
しかも
botanist.
アウグステスは彼がフォンテー
You
ヌで
know,
活動
if
し
you
た
Oh,
put a
he was
unit-
the guy that made Auguste.
Tainari.
No, not Tainari. The Edgar
Oh.
guy that we're talking about right now. Jeez,
Oh.
Frog, pay attention.
Dude, I'm trying.
それに
You know, maybe I'll switch to English dub so you can just listen to background
私を弟
noise.
子にしてくださった香水作りの師匠なのです。
Perchance.
Here, I got you.
フォンテーヌで活動し
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
Wow, her,
This was the girl we were just talking to.
yeah, Emily.
Jesus Christ, switch it back. Just Emily.
It's okay. It was just English dub for a little bit.
Okay. The English dub jump scare.
English dub. Just kidding.
Besides, I really didn't want to hear Paimon in English dub anyway.
No, yes you do.
No.
Look at all the flowers!
No, please.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't
Oh,
have anywhere
what
to stay.
I use rinsed it back!
The hotel, how are they gonna make that more of that?
That's still Paimon.
Yep.
Oh,
There's the guy.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed.
Jesus
a bit.
Christ, Vittorio Toscano?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends. Well then, the pleasure is all mine.
He's like, Emily has a problem?
Emily has friends? Like, hello?
Emily has friends?
That's crazy. Why'd he say it like that? Okay,
of
jerk.
course. We're perfume merchants from Fontaine. I'm Ood, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Okay, he's instantly sus.
Immediately.
He's
Yes.
extremely sus.
You must be here to look for the August flower.
Huh?
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a goose?
Oh, it's
Anyone in
Auguste?
the
That's
business
weirder.
would be interested in the rumors.
I like Auguste better.
Maybe
I know the
someone
whole
around
thing
here
is
just
about
happens to
perfuming, but I
have a
really
bottle
don't
of
like how
August
they
from back
how
then.
they talk about smell half the time.
No,
Dude,
I don't think so.
This is rude to the people who do not have noses.
Stop.
Never opened. The fragrance of the
So
perfume would have
Voldemort?
changed over time. Very few
Kind of,
perfumes
yeah.
can live
Yeah.
decades without a change. Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar fragrance? Or in accord with the same base notes?
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never
A
have sold for
goose.
such a high price all those years ago.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the Auguste fragrance passed them on the street.
Wait, are you saying?
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate.
Uh-huh.
You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Ood, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room?
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay.
Yo, bro,
Even
chill.
after
We're
you
used
made
to
the
it.
trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master.
Dude, the
I could
grass
sit
is
on
my
a
best
bench,
friend.
Or I could
Mhm.
even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru. Ah, even better. Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well, about that.
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye on them for you.
Oh, this guy's
as long as
definitely
you don't
sus.
mind, mademoiselle.
Evil.
All right then.
He gives off
Why
major
don't you
evil
take
Disney
Emily
villain
inside
vibes.
and find a suitable place for her?
Cannot be trusted. Need to kill him
I'll prepare some
now.
refreshments and join you in a bit.
Oh, pretty.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
Paimon, are
Looks
you
like this
stalking
exhibition
people
is
now?
gonna be huge.
Creepy ass.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
Why did you make that sound?
Blaze!
Yes, of course.
All right then, where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle?
I just thought he was
Blaze will
mute.
go
I
fetch
thought
it
he was
for
too.
you.
It's still at the
Well, he
point.
talks,
In
he's a
addition to
little
some
less
daily
cool.
necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospitality.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You've stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Dang.
Is that so?
Oh, she's onto something.
Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh.
That's Master's voice.
Oh, sure. Let me just have a cutscene to walk out the door.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you alright? Can you hear me?
Who did this?
Kyria. Auguste.
Oh, he's dead. Oh?
Jesus, he's gonna fucking die.
I know.
Strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle?
The streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and the sides of the vessel. Someone forcibly poured out whatever was inside of the bottle.
Oh, really? You think so?
Or do we think it's what? You can't just... There are no footprints in the flower bed, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. Unless the culprit was your size, it would have been pretty difficult.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wings and fly away.
Huh?
The culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
Yeah,
100% sus, dude.
Yeah.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid.
What? Did they force feed him perfume? Oh, that's messed up.
They put fucking perfume in this guy's mouth. That's
He's still
twisted.
conscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now. Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe there are two people who could shed some light on the situation. Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid we'd never heard of those names before.
Before
Bitch.
arriving in Sumeru,
They are
I
so
asked
sus.
a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous
The
speculators
slow
and
turn to
profiteers,
each other.
inflating
Yeah,
the price of
they're
Auguste
guilty.
even further.
You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around
Oh,
false
he's trying to
accusations,
gaslight her. Huh.
especially among merchant circles.
You
He's,
claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
Emilie, you little...
I will stab you.
If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kyria.
You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucien, Edgar, and the researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava. Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while.
Uh-huh.
But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom. But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
Like, destroying all that evidence. Wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was expecting.
Kyria was Vijava's younger brother. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The three of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
The way that they pronounce it is very unsatisfying.
I know.
Auguste.
Right?
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is poison?
Oh.
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once.
So, but Edgar just drank a whole thing. Well, forced to drink a whole thing.
If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened to be Auguste.
Uh-huh. Oh, was this planned?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that. We're not looking for Kyria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing. And, if possible, work together to bring back Auguste. We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself.
Just a little fraud and market manipulation, that's all.
Yep.
Bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's memory. Anyway, that's all we know.
No,
If
it's
you're
not.
looking for information on what's in Auguste, or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask. Edgar or Kyria himself.
Well, that's messed up.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact Auguste. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
Oh dear. They're so sus.
Huh, you think so too?
Yeah, they're still hiding
It does
something.
seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more evidence.
Oh, right. Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your patients were unusual.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Oh, so she's like a morgue assistant.
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner.
Oh.
Once the forensic team and the Marachese Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically,
The
there are
word
two
tincture
sides
is a
to
funny
forensics.
word.
Those who collect evidence to expose the
Tincture.
truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kyria.
I see.
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my help looking after Mr. Edgar. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kyria. I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
She looks sad. What happened?
There is a
No
sadness in
longer
her
medical
eyes.
condition, Thankfully.
Oh.
He's still
Okay,
very
he's
weak,
not dead.
but
I was worried for a
with more rest,
second.
He should regain consciousness soon. I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
Oh.
Elemental energy?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or some other component of the perfume, it's still too early to say.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari come and find you? Maybe we could ask him to take a look. Excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here?
Cole!
Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon, you're here too!
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And please, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
She's such a lady. I love her.
Okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emilie. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Vijava ever passed through the academia. Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't find a match.
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only...
Oh.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Curio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now... It's locked?
Oh.
Wonk.
Lucian!
Whoa.
Lucian! Come on! Wake up! Emily, Emily, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right?
Oh, is he dead?
He's just unconscious. Like what happened to Edgar?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
Oh!
We were too late this time.
What
Oh,
happened?
that's a dead man.
No, no, that's not possible.
It was 5 seconds. What happened?
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock.
Really? Maybe he's not as sus as he was before. Like, he's sus, but I don't feel as, like, strongly about it now.
He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to...
If Curio really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
See, now
Killed him.
this time we gotta know what's going on.
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can.
Oh, are we gonna do some forensic testing?
Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor.
Oh, wait, there's that
Have you been
incense
able
going
to
on in the
discover
background.
anything?
I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
Oh, last night. So it wasn't like 5 seconds. Okay.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us.
It's okay. We've seen plenty of them. Let's see, how many Fatui...
Many.
How many Fatui agents did I get? 300 of these guys, 100 of these guys, 200... Yeah. I've killed a lot of people. It's okay.
Lock you up. Throw away the key.
But these are... Oh, is it to like
Looks
mask
we've
the
investigated
smell?
as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emily and Sham.
That's what I'm thinking. So what happened here? The incense was laid by whoever did it. But then the flowers masked the smell, and because the smell is so strong, Lucien couldn't smell the incense and died. Maybe it's that allergy thing we were talking about earlier.
Possibly.
Very well.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, we could help each other. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucien was...
So,
Shoot.
no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucien's body. What kind of cause of death are we dealing with here?
I
The
did
incense.
notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's symptoms after the
You
attack
good?
yesterday.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it. And I'd say that substance was likely a Gust.
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And
Oh.
anyway, it would have been for just one night.
Oh.
No, that's not what I meant. Emily, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
No, I didn't find any common toxins.
See? A goose is harmless. The market response proved that years ago.
That may be true for
Oh,
most people.
he's alive!
But not for everyone.
What?
He's awake!
Oh, Edgar.
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Thanks to Emily, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it,
Oh,
the
he is
truth
still
will
sus.
always come to light.
Come on, bro, your brother's dead.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kyria would just let us be? No. He would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena. That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Oh, crap.
Oh, Fatus?
The Fatui. Well, that means the elemental energy present in Augste was...
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Delusion?
Well, Sylvain, looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Oh,
The Auguste flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
A delusion?
The Fatui, delusions... I never would have thought Augste was hiding this many secrets.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
that's enough, Edgar. I'll take it from here. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about Auguste being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The
Oh.
impact was practically negligible. Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing to all your financial crimes. The Fatui, delusions, Auguste. If the Marechaussee Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucien would still be alive. All these years without any sign of Kyria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after. Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to destroy evidence?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Marechaussee Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed. Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
Oh, wait, she did it for? Wow.
Oh.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, there would have been no reason to do that to herself. Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning. Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after her death.
Oh, that's
After arriving
terrible.
in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kyria was free to take the Mora and run.
Dang. That's a lot.
Damn.
So she killed herself so her brother could survive. That's sad.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste, it wasn't destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. We just didn't realize she meant our cut as well. That's why Lucien and I were searching for Kyria, to take back our Mora and the Auguste flower. We just didn't realize Kyria was baiting us the whole time. It was all a trap.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
Probably not.
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance.
Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion.
Dead by Daylight just booted up on my computer again.
Something like
Oh
that.
boy.
It's instinct.
It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that headspace for so many years.
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks? If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn, Yelena could have survived.
She knew her limits. She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us.
Oh, you're must be great
We're
at
just
parties,
trying
dude.
to earn a bit of Mora.
Fantastic.
And what, we deserve to die for that?
Absolutely.
Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucien? He was just following my orders. Lucien's crime. Was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
The only person that can answer that question is a judge.
Nouvelette! Nouvelette! Bring him in!
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. What a headache.
Girl's like, y'all need to get your jurisdictions in check.
Well, we can only wait until
Yeah.
the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself. Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants and all that. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own. Would you be willing to grant?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
So they're just turning themselves in.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Good.
the possibility that Kyria might try to finish what he started?
Yeah! All we know is that he uses Auguste to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act! If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stop him!
That may be true, but what if we can take advantage of his desperation? If we take advantage of this situation and lure him in on purpose, we might finally have the chance to talk to him.
Master, no. That's too dangerous.
So, that's your plan. If Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight.
Oh.
In other words, you want
Well.
to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What? Are you afraid of him?
Afraid? This is my only chance to make him pay for what he did. I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I'm letting him get away with it. Not after what he did to Lucian. As for the danger, everyone else just needs to make preparations in advance to protect us.
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my help.
I'll also keep watch.
Although I think Sylvain and myself, if Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides, it's possible he's already transformed Auguste into a potent toxic gas.
You mean if he doesn't
Are we not
see a
going
way
to talk
get his
about
hands on the two of you,
the
he
incense?
might get so desperate that he'll just start
No.
using Auguste on everybody?
If that were to happen, everyone's standing guard. Even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in danger.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This old pack of bones doesn't bounce back like it used to. I suppose I'll just have to leave the rest to you.
Oh, is that the...
Have you heard? Mr.
No, it's
Edgar's
not,
been
okay.
detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop.
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
He is very British.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where Kyria is hiding, he must have heard them by now. Emilie! Chef Xian wants to...
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very kind of you. But I'm okay.
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I couldn't help but notice that something seems to be on your mind.
Was it that obvious?
You seem very preoccupied with Kyria's revenge.
Oh, Hey, Emilie, Kale. Oh, are we interrupting something?
Yes.
No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway. I've just been thinking. If Kyria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why didn't he target Sylvain along with Lucian last night? There was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. Don't you think? When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucian died, and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized, maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge.
Probably.
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucian?
Based on what we've heard about Kyria, that may very well be the case.
Losing his sister all those years ago. What has been going through his head? What has he been forced to endure? Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, would I be able to let go of that hatred? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after everything he's done. But I just can't help it.
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human nature. In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger still echo through my mind. Even now, some of them even try to stop me. begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment.
And that's, I could never be like an investigator or like a. So my emotions would get so in the mix of things.
Like a juror.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions? Answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance can put those answers forever out of our reach. I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information can be inferred from the traces left behind at the scene. But generally speaking, death will just leave most questions unanswered, and the whole picture ever incomplete.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about things that way. For someone like Kyria, I'm sure right and wrong lost all meaning a long time ago.
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them. It's because we're fortunate enough not to have suffered that kind of loss. But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late. I understand Kyria's decision, but I still want to stop him. Master, Sylvain, and Kyria. They all deserve to survive.
Huh. Not a peep. Has Kyria given up on his revenge?
I wouldn't say so.
Guess we'll have to keep at it. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kyria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crime, there must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flowers. Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glaze lilies, incense. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh no, he's dead too?
Huh?
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucien, and now this.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy. What is going on?
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit? I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
No loitering. Get off my property.
You don't get off my property.
So it was the incense. Why didn't we bring that up earlier? We saw it.
Wait, the incense kills.
I suppose.
Apparently.
Ooh.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emilie. I never did thank you for that, did I?
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
So, like, they mentioned glaze lilies, and the glaze lily is only a flower that blooms at night. And so that probably was there to mask up the incense stuff. I
Is
don't
that
know.
so?
I
I
see.
suppose I'm a very fortunate person then. Emily, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition is off the table now. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of
Oh,
miles
I
away from their homeland.
feel sad for this sucker.
I know it's a lot to ask, but could I entrust them to your care?
Of course, Master.
Really? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now I truly have nothing to worry about.
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so I've gotta go.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
I'm sorry, Master.
Oh. Wait, was he just holding on to that from earlier, or like?
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hope
I don't know. This is
Emily
suspicious.
still isn't back. I hope she
Mm.
didn't run into any trouble. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now too, but I have to admit, I'm not really sure what's going on. After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. I barely had a second to spare last night. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
So this is just one big whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gathering.
Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hit a goose.
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower from Liu, right?
I heard that completely wrong. I heard that as Glaze Willy.
If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then in the daytime, the glazed lily would act almost like a hidden container.
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of Auguste in the center. That way, the Auguste.
I don't think I could ever be this smart. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. If you put me in a Sherlock Holmes novel, it would end on page 1. I'm done.
Me too.
No way.
The diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glazed lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the Auguste trapped inside.
And Kyria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during the night.
By the next morning, the sample of Auguste would have nearly fully evaporated. The glazed lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of Auguste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man?
The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that Sylvain and Lucien are allergic to the stuff?
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. But that distinction isn't important right now. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would be.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest and
Did you just say essential oils?
Yeah.
long ago. All of
Oh, the
these
last time I heard those words, it was on Facebook.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel.
He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free, but in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors.
That's
in
really
Fontaine.
unlucky.
Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kiria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of evil spirit, but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire
What?
time.
Is he Edgar?
Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily.
Oh
Setting up the spirit,
no.
it all points to one person.
But Kiria was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40 years old by now. Edgar's lived here for so many years.
Bad news, Sheriff. Mr. Edgar was attacked.
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous aura.
Oh.
Before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. Do you think Kiria could...
I need you to think very carefully about this.
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised
Oh, was it
source
the
of power.
delusion that they were talking about from earlier? Because the delusion that Yelena was using deteriorated her age and stuff.
Oh.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
But why? Why would he do that? He's already accomplished his revenge.
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death,
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena chose to die,
then there's still one target left.
Oh, wait, no, so they're not the same? Are they the same? I can't tell. Where is he? Right down here? Oh, there's someone hiding.
A ghost! It's a ghost!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath. Can you tell us what you saw?
I saw a black shadow. It ran right past me.
Uh-huh. There's so many. There's another guy.
How could something like that happen in broad daylight?
This is terrifying.
This is terrifying. There's so many people that are... Oh, jeez. And then there's just that guy chilling on the boat. Ma'am?
If we go any further, we'll be out of Port Ormos. There'll be hardly any witnesses.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. I would say he passed by this location not too long ago. It's this way. Please, follow me.
Oh.
The scent is getting stronger.
Oh, no,
This
right
must
here,
be
right
the
here.
place.
Alright, let's use the team. Finally get to have Emilie in use after, like, what, 2 hours?
O's!
O's?
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He's a good man. I can't just abandon him to die by Kiria's hand.
O's, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is the one we're after. He and Kiria are the same person.
But how is that possible? I thought you said Kiria was in his 30s. Mr. Edgar is 70-something. Changing your appearance to look decades older...
So it was a delusion.
That doesn't seem possible.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself. Kiria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
No. He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years. If someone started impersonating him all of a sudden, we would have noticed.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in Sumeru? I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kiria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release from prison.
Oh, so Edgar's just dead. So then
Oh.
who does that mean that someone else was teaching Emily? That's crazy.
Maybe the real Edgar was the friends we made along the way.
Shut up.
While Edgar was incarcerated, Kyria started making
I
preparations
don't
to
know,
release
dog.
him, forcefully aging his
I don't
body,
know.
studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise. We're not going to let Auguste kill anyone else. It's time for the mythos to fade into obscurity.
Oh boy. Alright, let's go. Flower.
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Did you just like squish them?
Kinda, yeah.
Like you just jump on them.
Yeah.
Squish.
Squish. I do like Emily, but part of me feels like they just didn't want to do more for her. They're all hyped up after the Notland stuff.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers! There are so many of them.
Oh, there is a lot of
Can't
them.
believe a single person did all this. Must have taken a lot of time.
I fear
I can believe a single person did all this because I'm a hater.
Comes at a cost. Not just time, but the time you have
Dum
left to
dum.
live.
Why would Kyria need this many Auguste flowers? He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan,
Is he planning on taking everyone out? Oh my gosh.
Probably.
Hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with Auguste. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither away in a foreign land. But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire
I still
life
can't
in
believe there's a
secret
person
under
named
the guise of
Snezhnaya.
Sumeru's.
Very fun word to say.
Well,
Snezhnaya.
that's a region.
Oh.
Call home. Perhaps
Fish.
dying among a bed of
Fish.
Auguste flowers just like his
Fish.
sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
Oh, so he's dying right now? Dang, dude.
The guy Edgar?
Yeah.
Or is Edgar dead?
Well, no, Edgar, the real Edgar is dead. The one that we're hunting, the fake Edgar, is Kyria.
So the green guy is Kyria, or is the real Edgar?
Were you not paying attention?
I've been paying attention. I'm just confused.
Okay. So to recap, Edgar, the one we were talking to, is a fake. That is Kyria.
Okay.
The real Edgar is dead.
And he's been dead.
Yeah, he's been dead for years now.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Oh.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning.
Bro.
What's he got? The amulet?
That's a delusion.
Oh. The amulet.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
Oh! Don't drink that.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine. Yelena?
Oh.
Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but I always understood. The reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, it was all because of me. I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you earlier. I should have died with you that day.
What the heck?
Oh.
This is so deep.
Yelena?
This all started with perfume, god damn it.
Oh!
Yelena!
Oh, she doesn't want him to die.
No! Don't leave me! Please! Yelena!
Oh, dude.
Emily,
Oh.
I'm alive. No, that's not possible. I saw her, Yelena. We were together.
Bro, chill.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No, the amount of Auguste I drank, it should have been enough.
Oh.
A fake, but how?
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
Did you say ambergris?
Yes.
Whale poo.
The scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear Augste to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind.
Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Augste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Is he...
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances together. The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
The past?
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it, just like the perfume mania that captivated the public all those years ago. You believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind. Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, you hit the nail on the head now, didn't you? So, Sylvain isn't dead. Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, I assume you've also figured out my method, then. That means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning. It was all an act you put on with the sheriff?
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your spirit Borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see any more death. Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to see, and all his secrets will be revealed. The same goes for you as well.
Is that so? Well, I suppose I'll be spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
Come on, shut up.
I don't feel the need to justify my actions, nor do I intend to repent for them. I did what I set out to do. But there's no going back, is there?
Careful, everyone. This environment is dangerous. I'll lead the way.
Stick close and hurry up. We can't let it.
Looks like I'm almost out of time. Although, I do have one final question, Emilie.
Of course, Master.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower was already imbued with that complexity during its cultivation?
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve. But if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those really do seem like flowers you would choose, Yelena.
Did you know? Miss Emilie's releasing a new perfume! Right, I heard about that. I think it's called Yelena.
Aww, that's sweet.
Aww.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to demystify Auguste. I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I hope they're to your liking. Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it to Paimon! Oh, it smells great!
That's alright. All feedback is worth considering. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you can ask for. There doesn't always have to be a deeper meaning.
Right. Do those flowers have some special meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect on him.
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the language of flowers.
A language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before. Paimon remembers hearing something like, the Cecilia represents the true feelings of the prodigal son?
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of Auguste. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a single phrase. Forget the past and keep on living. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with Auguste.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care. Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was his response. Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for
Give
meaning
me
all we want,
nouvelles.
but it'll never be anything but conjecture. Even if
Nouvelles.
Just turn the camera a little bit. He'll be right there.
forget her, avenging her death, that would
May I butt in?
Don't ever.
It's Nouvelle!
Stop.
Hello, I am Nouvelle.
Stop. Enough from you.
Thank you for saving
Okay.
my life. For giving me the chance to learn that Auguste could have carried a very different meaning. Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them. In that sense, what Auguste truly represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery. But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation. The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
And it's done.
Pan the camera to the left. Hi guys, it's me, Nouvelle.
Stop it. Enough. Heard enough of you.
Oh, beans.
Sedgeman's was pretty sad too.
That thing had a sad story?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can figure that out on your own. So.
I really don't want to.
You of course you want to play. What are you talking about?
No, you can't make me.
Yes, I can.
I can't hear you. Don't gaslight me. Me.